This one exercise I'm about to show you is very powerful for getting very fast results, improving and reducing muscle knots and tightness anywhere in the mid-spine up until the lower neck. Usually when we have tightness of this area, a lot of people are going to go, oh, I must have tightness of my upper back muscles, like my rhomboids, or my upper traps are tight. And while that can be true, what's also going on underneath the surface of that is a rib cage that cannot move or expand upon inhalation as it normally should. So the question is it the tight rib cage that caused the tight muscles, or the tight muscles that cause the tight rib cage? Is it the chicken or the egg? In my opinion, I think both are happening over time together, but it doesn't really matter because we do know what we're dealing with in the current moment, and that is that a rib cage that is very stiff and unable to move. We have things called mediastinal cavities within our trunk, our thorax. And these cavities represent area for us to create expansion. For when we inhale, we need to expand into places, right? Within our thorax, these are the places where that can happen. And if you look at this image, you can see that our posterior back rib cage has a huge mediastinal cavity relative to the front one. So when we inhale, we definitely need to expand this posterior mediastinal space. If we don't, then we're going to have a compromised breathing strategy and our diaphragm's not going to be working very well, which can lead to its own host of issues. But more localized, what you're going to see is a bunch of muscle knots and commonly tightness of this area. So what we want to do is bring the rib cage down and then get these ribs to represent a more exhaled position, so that way our diaphragm can be in a position to create expansion of the back rib cage, and it's going to feel really nice. So here is one really easy way that you can do that. So if you like exercises like this, you can check out my beginner body restoration program, because that is going to have a lot of simple exercises designed for beginners to address a lot of these underlying causes of common movement limitations and restrictions in mobility and how people feel overall. We're going to get in this seated position, obviously, but we have a step underneath Trevor because that's what's allowing him to keep his whole foot flat, but still get around a 90-degree bend at both his knees and his hips. So if your chair allows you to do that, great, stick with it. But regardless, you need to be able to feel your sit bones on both sides throughout the duration of this exercise. So those little bony protrusions in each butt cheek, make sure you're feeling relatively even contact with those while you go through this. We're going to take that pillow, fold it in half so it's about that thick, which is what you want, and we're going to wedge it in between our lowest ribs and the top of our thighs right there. And now what we're going to do is take our arms over them, and we're going to get in this position where we have a bent elbow, palms facing us, and now we're going to reach and protract forward. So we are going to bend forward a little bit, and that's okay because the goal of this exercise is to open up our backs. So holding that position right there, keeping your whole foot flat on both sides, feeling your sit bones a bit, we're going to exhale through our mouth. Nice and soft and long. And at the end of that exhale, sighing it out, we're going to feel a little bit of side abs engage. And you're going to slightly maintain that. The pillow is there to help you do that. And then softly and silently inhale through your nose for about 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds, depending on how comfortable you can be. And then exhale again. Keep working through that for about 5 breaths. Some things to keep in mind here is that we want our head to be in a neutral position. So it shouldn't be shoved far forward or retreated back. We want it to be that we're looking somewhat in between our hands, straight ahead right there. And that will ensure we're in a pretty good neck position. And the other thing is that people, despite this being a flexion-based exercise, will want to sit up when they inhale. That's you trying to breathe into your belly and extend. So we're trying to get your back to relax. We're trying to open up your ribs in the back. So maintain that posture right there. It's actually a little bit better to be a little bit more slouched than extended. We can do other drills to open up your front ribs, but the purpose of this is to open up your back ribs. A couple of modifications if necessary. If that amount of flexion and rounding is uncomfortable for you for some reason, you can add a little step, whatever works for you, maybe some books, I don't know, find something in your house that works well, and then stack it underneath that pillow right there. And now you can still get a little bit of that protraction, feel your sit bones, do everything the same. For other people, they may not feel enough posterior expansion without getting a little bit more flexion added in. So what you could do there is simply just keep your elbows in the same place, but reach them further and push your ribs back more, go into more flexion And for other people, that will be what they need to get that expansion of their back and relaxation of those back extensor muscles. The most common mistake on this exercise is people are gonna overdo the reach and really force it because they really wanna expand their back, but really that's gonna cause more problems than anything else. You're just gonna compress yourself more. So 3 out of 10 intensity of a gentle, soft reach right there, and you can maintain that as you inhale. That's all you need to get the expansion we're looking for. I would recommend doing this exercise in the morning and at night for about 2 sets of 5 to 10 slow controlled breath cycles. This will allow your body to create adaptations that last and are more meaningful because you are going to give your body constant input into how to expand this back rib cage area.